weird. That's advice from Richard Autumn. Richard Lloyd Wesley Autumn tells folks to stay weird. The kind of weird is like a good weird, not like the thing that people label you as crazy. I was offended at first. People were like, he's crazy. Yeah, I am crazy, but I've been dying to live since my comatose state when machines dictated my breath and heart rate.
The Veterans Community Open Mic grew out of a collaboration between my organization, Art to Action, and a theater in Tennessee called the Carpetbag Theater. The great thing about this event is I never know what's going to happen because we often have regulars and we always have new folks. As you know from this experience, sometimes we hear really deep and moving stories or poems. Sometimes we hear comedy like Richard.
Andre was like, you want to get on the list? I was like, I don't know. But I'll think about it. I was like, Grandma, what do you think WTF means? And she was like, wow, that's funny. And I was like, okay, Grandma, please text that to every number you're contacting.
Can you tell us a little bit about your military background?
It's kind of arched, but like sometimes I'd have to be really straight. My MOS was 92 whiskey, water purification specialist. I specialized in desalinating ocean water from the Virginia Beach, Atlantic Ocean. Then traumatic brain injury hit. Bam, wake up call. I met God while I was in a coma for 17 days. Woke up from a coma not really knowing the difference between like so-called reality, what we see here, and like the spiritual world. Those kind of blended in together, and things were pretty strange for a while. Everybody here standing above concrete is part of the chosen few that were chosen to wake up today. So like, God could have been like, nah, you don't need to come in today. I'm done with you. And then what? You just wouldn't show up.
Did you ever go through a time when it was hard for you to see that way? Were you resented?
Yes. For the first 3 years of brain injury life, I was going through hell.
Can you describe that?
Hell. H-E-double-L.
H-E double hockey sticks.
H-E double hockey sticks. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear on your documentary. Hell, 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 hell.
Fine, we can bleep it.
It's one letter short of hello.
Yep. What were you going through when you were resenting the injury, and did you ever turn your relationship with God, or were you always...
Depression, hate. I hated God, I hated me, I hated anybody that couldn't see. That it felt like the right side of my left part of my brain, which is a hard way to describe it. I felt like the inside of the left half of my brain had a scab growing on it, and that it was being ripped off every day, and like nobody could look through the brain and see that, look through the skull and see that dude's got half his brain has been ripped off. And like they couldn't see that, so I was very resentful and negative on most occasions. Then year 5, it was like God just flipped a switch in my heart, and I was all about optimism. Yeah, I got to live through a coma. Not everybody gets that. Like, what a cool gift. It's like I can tell people I lived through a coma. And then when they're like, wait, what?
When Richard was about maybe 22 or 23 years old, he was home on leave and he had went to a Mardi Gras parade. As he was crossing over into the median near Lake Wales to get into the right lane, a large Dodge truck going about maybe 80 miles an hour struck the right passenger side. The impact cracked his skull and knocked the right hemisphere of his brain out his window. Doctors didn't think he would make it out, but if he did make it out, they said that he would be pretty much paralyzed for the rest of his life. He came out of his coma. He did physical therapy, and over time, he got better and better and better. And here he is today, still striving to be better than what he was yesterday. So all the things that the doctor said he wouldn't be able to do, he's doing it to the best of his ability.
That's all me up there? And these are all mine.
Wow.
Did that one for Christmas, hoping that it'd be red and green. That's USA. red, white, and blue. And this one is like Pangea, a friend of mine. So what is that? Unlimited chicken? I was like, if you want to call it that. If you want to buy it, you can name whatever you want. So you got a hemiparesis on the left side and deaf on the right side. Playing piano with one hand? Not so bad. You ever heard of Coldplay? The song Clocks?
It pretty much clicked at the same time. I wasn't really putting myself out there like that. I was more reserved. But working with him opened up different opportunities for me to spit my truths on the mic. And we've just been going to every open mic that we can as far as veterans open mics, and we're going to continue to do so.
Here tonight, Richard. And he was planning to come tonight, him and C9, who's his caregiver, but also a dope poet himself. And I got a little message from him I wanted to share. And Richard says, C9 and I were going to rap together tonight, but Richard had a little bit of a seizure earlier. But he says he's feeling better already, and he misses everybody. And he wants folks to know that there is a play that Richard and C9 are both in called Breakfast in Baghdad, and it's performing May 18th and 19th. And he wanted me to spread the word about that. So please send some love and prayers and good vibes to Richard. Hope he's feeling better, and hope we get to hear more about that project maybe at the next open mic.
So today in life, everyone's rushing. It seems like we're always rushing to work, we're like rushing relationships, or rushing to eat. But Richard takes things slow, not only because he has to, but because he also chooses to. And so for me, I've noticed that I've slowed down a lot in my life outside of here. Like, for example, I'll be walking with Richard, and I can't walk at a normal pace I would normally be walking at. I have to kind of keep up with him. And so that's been something I've noticed that's changed and that I've learned.
I'm a chronic gambler. Not like betting on the ponies. Like, every day I wake up, it's a crapshoot. 50-50. Could be a really awesome day, it could suck. But reality is a perception-based event. So like what you say is a great day, I might be like, to hell with that sounds awful. You deal with that? Ugh. Wait, you like that? No. Or vice versa. What I say is a great day, you're like, oh man, that's rough. So like I gained a whole new appreciation for this gift of life. I used to feel like I could live without life. Life has everything that you can imagine bad in it. Like that's life. I could live without that.